right, you have to explain what you're doing.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you now.
Okay, good.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. My comfort zone is 5 pounds of flour. Not that I use all of it, but I like to have that on hand. Depending on the weather, I use more if it's humid. So I usually end up with something left over. So I start out with 3 cups of very hot water, and while that's cooling down, I have some 6 ounces of butter in the microwave melting. I have 5 eggs in the blender. I'll add 4 tablespoons of sugar and 1 tablespoon of salt. And I'll add the mixture, the butter mixture, and I'll put it all into the yeast and water as soon as the water temperature is milder. I'll take out a tablespoon of eggs to use as glaze on the finished loaves of bread before I put them into the oven. As soon as the water gets milder, I'll add this.
Did you put the yeast? Oh, not
I
yet.
have these. I have 6 3/4 teaspoons of yeast. 6 3/4 teaspoons. But I have to add it. The water gets more like lukewarm. It's too hot right now. But then after that's mixed, I just take that mixture and put in. Then I add up to 9 cups of flour. I don't use 9 cups of flour, but I add up to from 6 to 9 cups of flour. My favorite wooden spoon, where is it? Over here. Here it is.
Why is your favorite one?
I've used it for the last 10, 15 years. It was my mother's spoon.
How long have you been making bread for?
I've been making it ever since I've been in New York, and I've been in New York since 1960.
Oh, wow.
It's my mother's recipe. My mother used it from Good Housekeeping during the war. 1935 is when she first got the basic recipe. And throughout the war, Second World War, she made this bread. So this is just about ready. That's the basic. That's it.
Do you let it proof for a little bit or no?
No, I'm ready to add the flour. And like I said, up to 6 to 9 cups of flour.
And how many loaves?
Makes 4 loaves. Depending on the weather, if it's a humid day, like if it's raining, I use more flour. So I try to avoid making it on a day like that.
Okay, so no rainy days baking.
You know, so today I can start out with a lot of these mixers, electric mixers, have an attachment for bread, for kneading the bread, but I prefer to do it by hand.
Why is that?
It's just I just like the feel of it. I can tell the consistency, whether it's ready or I need to beat it up more. Just took it for granted.
How did the house smell when your mom was making bread?
I loved it. It's an aroma that you can't duplicate.
That's why everyone should be making this bread.
So, my husband refused to eat the local bread. So if we couldn't find a good bakery, I started making this. And so I've been making it ever since I moved here. And of course the trick here is to knead it until it's like elastic and satiny and without sticking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How many minutes do you think?
oh, it's going to take me about 15 minutes. And so I do everything I can, including throwing it up in the air and bringing it down here. Got a ways to go.
But you don't add all the cups at once, right?
No. In other words, I might use much less than 9 cups, because this scoop isn't a cup.
Mm-hmm.
But I add as I go along, the consistency. Yes, it's still sticky.
Are you gonna make raisin bread?
I didn't get any raisins.
How convenient.
I can make cinnamon though.
Oh yeah.
Cinnamon, I can make a little of that.
Look at that strength.
I can tell when the sound is different. The consistency of the bread is just about right. It's getting there. See, I'm not supposed to come back with anything on my fingers when I put it in there like that. It's getting there. Almost to that point where it's like elastic without being sticky. Now put it in here, it'll sit for 1 hour and 30 minutes. And then I'll take it out and shape it into 4 loaves. So usually braid it up, and then let it sit for another 45 before I put it in.
You're a natural for the camera.
And I use that fast rising yeast, and it works wonders. There, cover it up 1 hour and 30 minutes the first time. As long as I've been making it, I forgot how to braid the bread the other day. Last time I made it, I couldn't remember how to do it. Oh boy, got just enough. I'm gonna go in the dining room and sit down.
What is Gigi doing?
Cooking.
Hi. You want to grease a pan with me? Huh?
No.
You don't want to grease a pan? Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to. See, I'm putting the grease in the pan.
Do it on the other side.
Well, I got 10 more minutes, really. Well, let's see how this works. This will be the smallest loaf. This is the biggest. Take the biggest one and divide it in 2. So,
All right, you have to explain the braiding method.
yeah, But I said I couldn't even remember how to do it the other day.
Looks like you got it.
No, that one. Some days it works better than others, you know. Try to thin it out. This one. You see how lopsided this one is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's-
All right, so what are you doing now?
this is for the cinnamon.
How much butter do you put?
Well, this is, I'm going to use some of this. I only have for 2 ounces here, so I'm going to use more on that.
You put in some sugar now?
Don't have any, no raisins. We would just put the cinnamon in here.
So you just sprinkle. How much sugar do you sprinkle?
Not that much. Well, let's see what we shall see.
And then you roll it.
Let's see if we can stretch it. Gonna see if it works.
I'm sure it will. You got this. Don't give up.
I'm gonna see if I can get this so I
Find
can.
the dough.
They'll be sort of aborted, but at least they'll fill the pan.
How long
They'll
do you...
be sufficient. Now this is 45 minutes. For
Okay.
everything. So that's the story.
All right, 45 minutes, and then we
45
bake them.
Gigi bread.
They didn't turn out too bad.
No, they look great. How long did you cook
About
them?
40, almost 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Almost 40. And I set it up 10 degrees higher. Normally they would cook at 375, but this oven is slower. So I set it at 385.
385. And you brush them with eggs on top,
Yeah,
right?
egg white. The egg bit. Just took some of it and add a little water to it.
And this is the final
It doesn't look
product.
too bad.
It looks great.
So these are the ones you all are going to get into first. So.